to delay. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the payment was not made. I don't know why the payment was not made when it was due. To the extent the contractor, or at least we are told, there's an injunction on the project because of lack of payment. I am not fully briefed on the circumstances surrounding lack of payment, but I can understand that if we pay attention to the urgent question and I answered, it probably would explain why, because it is clearly the case that government does not have enough funds to pay for those works. But since we are told there's an injunction, I don't know the details under which the injunction was sought and granted. So when I get an accurate briefing, I'll work with you to see what matters to you is for the road to be completed, and we'll work together to see how we get it done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, thank you very much for your candid response. As you may be aware, multi-mobility index in Ghana has increased very tremendously. And the upper respiratory disorders. I'm seeking your kind attention that because this has to do with bitumen resurfacing, it means that the top surface of the road has been scratched and there's a lot of dust in the area. I crave your indulgence that please keep a very good eye on these roads for the people of Abuakwa South. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we turn to question 15. Question 15. And the question stands in the name of Dr. Abdul Kabiru Tia Mahama, member for Wale Wale. Honourable, you may ask your question now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
to honourable members, please. Yes, Honourable Kabiru, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity to ask the Minister this question and to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the following road projects would be completed. 1. Nasia Janga Road. 2. Nasia Parugu Mimima Road. 3. Wulugu Passenger Road. 4. Gimsi Nayoku Gadbine and Mimima Boayene Road. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Nasia Janga Feeder Road, 25.7 kilometers, is located in the West Mamprose municipality of Northeast region. Current program. The Nasia Janga Feeder Road has been awarded in 2 phases under the contract titled Nasia Janga Feeder Road, kilometer 0 to 10.5, and Nasia Janga Feeder Road, phase 2, kilometer 10.5 to kilometer 25.90. Phase 1. The contract commenced on the 31st of August 2018 for completion on 31st of August 2020, which was later revised to 31st December 2024. The progress of works is estimated at 75% physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and the work is ongoing. Phase 2, the contract commenced on 9th of December 2024 for completion on 8th of June 2026. The progress of work is estimated at 21.7%. The contractor is currently on site and is working. Nasia Barigu Mimima Road. Nasia Mimima Feeder Road is a 34-kilometer long engineered network in the West Mamprose municipality of North-East region. The road is F-based in poor condition. Current program. The Nasia Barigu Mimima Feeder Road was awarded on 25th of October 2024 for completion by 25th October 2026. The contractor is mobilizing to commence works. Wulugu Pansekpe Road. Pasekpe. This ends. Pansekpe. Okay. The Wulugu Pansekpe Road is a 35-kilometer long road. It is a regional road route 116 with a gravel surface in poor condition. Current program. The Wulugu Pakwese Road was awarded in 3 phases. 1. Upgrading of Wulugu Wiase Lot 1, kilometer 0 to 13. Upgrading of Wulugu Wiase Lot 2, kilometer 13 to 24. Upgrading of Wulugu Wiase Lot 3, kilometer 24 to 35. Phase 1. The contract commenced on 26th of July 2024 for completion on 26th of July 2026. The progress of works is estimated at 13.43 physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and works are ongoing. Phase 2. The contract commenced on 26th of July 2024 for completion by 26th July 2026. Progress of work is estimated at 18.43%, and the contractor is currently on site and works ongoing. Phase 3. The contract commenced on 26th of July 2024 for completion on 26th of July 2027. The progress of works is estimated at 17.62 physical completion. The contractor is on site and works ongoing. Bimsi to Nayoko Gagbini. Background. Bimsi Nayoko Gagbini is a 5.2 kilometer feeder road in the West Mamprose municipality of North-East region. The road is F-based and is in poor condition. Current program. The road is under feeder road and forms part of the upgrading of Walawale Wungu feeder road, 3.5 kilometers, and others, 25.45 kilometers, total 28.95 kilometers, to bituminous surface. The project commencement day is 29th November 2024 for completion on 28th November 2026. The progress of work is estimated at 55%. Physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and works ongoing. Mimima Bwayini. Mimima Bwayini is a 5.3 kilometer feeder road in the West Mamprose municipality of North-East region. The road is F surface and in poor condition. Current program. There is no program on this road. Engineering design studies will be carried out by the end of the second quarter of 2025 to assess the appropriate intervention, after which it will be considered under the 2026 budget allocations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Kabiru, any further supplementary question?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the respected Minister for Roads for his diligence in respect of these questions. I'm acutely aware that the Wulugu passenger route has been thoroughly assessed by the minister after some presentations were made to him, and the possibility of us looking at the various modeling to ensuring that, because that is a regional route and possibly an international route. So I want to thank him, and I also want to thank the minister for his assurance in respect of the Mimima Bwayini route, finding trying to have it have expression in the 2026 budget. And the Minister, I will be working closely with you to ensuring that this is done. But the last question I want to put to the Minister, the Nasia Parugu Mimima route, Mr. Speaker, was first awarded in 2018. I believe that arrangement did not work after some work had been done on the route. I want to know whether this has been brought to the attention of the Minister and whether or not this current arrangement we could expedite the process to ensure that the time lost between 2018 and 2024 would have been catered for in the implementation of this program. But that said, I'm also aware that the contractor is a very diligent contractor and he will do a good work if given the opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank my colleague, and then I would review the additional information is provided with the agency head to make sure the interventions capture exactly what he's talking about. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. We take question 16. Question 16, I think, is the second bite of Honorable Davis and San Opoku and Praeso.
Ula. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek to add the Minister for Roads and Highways, the plan of the government to construct the Adorso to New Jerusalem Road leading to Begoro in the eastern region of Ghana.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you once again for the opportunity. Background. The Adorso New Jerusalem Road forms part of the inter-regional route IR3, which starts from Otekpolu and traverses along the Volta Lake through major towns such as Asesewa, Aboso, Dedeso, Mpai, New Jerusalem, Adorso, and continues to Kwewu Tafo and beyond, all in the eastern region. The road connects the regional route R32 at Aboso, which leads to Begoro, the capital of the Fantiakwa North District in the eastern region. There is no program on this road currently. Future program. The engineering studies will be carried out by the end of the second quarter of 2025 to assess the appropriate interventions, after which consideration will be made in the 2026 budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable
Mr. Speaker, on the 14th of February, in this very House, we approved a loan facility amounting to about 350 million for the Afram Plains Road. And a part of it connects to these roads that I've mentioned. So I'm surprised that the Minister says that...
Is it 14th of February this year?
No, of 2022.
2022?
Yes, yes. So I'm surprised that the Minister, please, keep quiet and listen. Especially, keep quiet and listen. I'm surprised that the Minister says that there's no program on the road, because I know that this contract was awarded to Contractor Construction UK Limited for an amount of about 150 million euros. And to construct from Bunsu leading to Adorso. And all these roads that we have mentioned is captured in it. So if you say there's no program, are you able to tell us what that means? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is very right. That was the Parliament before this one. We approved a significant amount of money for not only the roads, but some bridges. But my colleague is told. But the truth is that the road mentioned is very critical. So it is upon us to find alternative sources of funding to go back to execute this project. So as and when funding can be approved, we'll go back and do this. But the good thing is that it's in focus, at least for 2026 budget. So we'll work together to see how we'll get this done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Finally.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, finally, to thank the minister and also to hold him to his assurance, because this road, when constructed, can end the importation of onions into our country. I mean, all these roads are along the Volta River, the Afram River, and because of the lack of good roads, farmers come and take advantage of market people come and take advantage of our farmers, and sometimes the produce go bad. And so when constructed, the over $100 million worth of onions that we import into this country from neighboring countries, those monies can stay in our country and help. So I thank him for the assurance, and I'm praying that the 2026 budget, when read, we'll see from Bunsu, Adosu to Afram Place.
Thank you very much.
Well captured.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I thank my colleague, and my assurance had a preamble or caveat that when our finances get better, we are all praying that by 2026, the finances will get better. And yes, I agree with him. These are the kinds of roads we need to prioritize because they unlock a lot more than just roads. It actually unlocks our agricultural potential. So I agree with him. We need to work to bring it to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Now we take the final question. Final question from Honorable Trenebo Akudria Fukuo, a member for Manson and Kwanta. Manson Kwanta. And he has not also mandated anybody to do that on his behalf. So we will. Are you doing that? Okay, let me give you the floor to do that on his behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the question on behalf of the Honourable Member for Manson and Kwanta, Mr. Trenebo Akudria Fukuo, to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the measures the ministry is implementing to address the road infrastructure problem in the Manson and Kwanta constituency. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Background. Manson Kwanta is the district capital of Amansie West in the Ashanti region. Current program. The Department of Federal Roads is undertaking 4 major projects in the district. A. Bituminous surfacing of Manso Kensere Watreso Feeder Road, kilometer 0 to kilometer 10. B. Upgrading of Kumpasi to Tontokrom Feeder Road, 17.65 kilometers to bituminous surface. C. Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antuakrom Feeder Road, kilometer 0 to kilometer 1.40, bituminous surfacing of Pechi number 1, Pechi number 2, 1.40 kilometers feeder road, and critical accesses 1.8 kilometers, total 4.60. D. Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antuakrom feeder road, 21.30 Trede, Pechi number 2, link 2.4, and then critical accesses 0.95 kilometers, total 24.65 kilometers. A. Bituminous surfacing of Manso Kensere Watreso Feeder Road. Current program. The Manso Kensere Watreso Road has been awarded under the project title Bituminous Surfacing of Manso Kensere Watreso Feeder Road. The works commenced on 30th of June 2020 for completion on 28th of December 2023. The progress of work is estimated at 53.55 physical completion. Work stalled due to delay in payment for works done. Upgrading of Kumpese to Total Chrome Feeder Road. Current program. The road has been awarded under a contract title Upgrading of Kumpese Tontro Chrome Feeder Road, 17.65 kilometers to bituminous surfacing. The project was awarded on the 15th of November 2024. The contractor is yet to commence work. Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antwa Chrome Feeder Road, 1.4 kilometers, and Pechi number 1 and Pechi number 2, a total of 4.6 kilometers to bituminous surfacing. The Pechi number 2, Antwa Chrome Road, and then Pechi number 2, lot 2, all have been contracted under a title Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antwa Chrome Feeder Road, Pechi number 1, Pechi number 2, Feeder Road, and then critical accesses, totaling 4.6 kilometers. No to bituminous surfacing. The works commenced on the 6th of September 2024 to be completed on the 8th of September 2025. The progress of work is estimated at 20.96% currently. The contractor is currently on site and works are ongoing. D. Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antwa Chrome Feeder Road, and other critical roads to bituminous surfacing. The Pechi number 2 and other roads are under a contract titled Upgrading of Pechi number 2, Antwa Chrome Feeder Road, 21.3 kilometers, Trede Pechi number 2 link, 2.4 kilometers, and critical access roads, all totaling 24.65 to bituminous surfacing. The works commenced on 9th of June 2024 to be completed on the 9th of July 2026. Progress of work is estimated at 15%, and the contractor is currently on site and is working. The Highway Authority is undertaking four projects in the district. Rehabilitation of Mim Junction, Manso, Edubia, Kumpase Road, 17 kilometers, and other critical roads. Upgrading of Mim Junction, Agroyesum, that's kilometer 0 to kilometer 7. Rehabilitation of Wioso, Mosiaso, 19.5 kilometers, and critical roads, 5 kilometers. Rehabilitation of Anuyan Kwanta, Mim Junction, 26 kilometers. Rehabilitation of Lot A. The current contract commenced on 9th December 2022 for completion on 8th June 2024. The works are substantially complete. B. Upgrading of Mim Junction, Agroesum Road. The contract commenced on the 28th of October 2024 for completion on the 27th of October 2026. The progress of works is estimated at 29.63%. The contractor is currently on site and works are ongoing. And then the last one, C. No, okay, the second to the last, number C. The contractor commenced work on the 28th of December 2023 for completion on 27th of December 2025. Progress of works is 5.5% physical completion. The contractor has suspended works. The last one, which is the D, the rehabilitation of Awian Kwanta Mim Junction Road, 26.4 kilometers. This contract was awarded on the 1st of October 2024. The progress of works is estimated at 9.32 physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and works ongoing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I believe what I observe in the 8th Parliament, we are not going to observe the same thing. In the 8th Parliament, most of the questions came and emanated from the minority. I believe this time around the majority will also ask questions. Today, 11 questions. Today, 11, you cannot come under point of order when the speaker is speaking. Today, 11 questions plus one agent question, 12 questions, all of them emanated from the minority. The agent question from the majority, yes, that's right. So, please, members, we are all entitled to ask questions. That's the way our constituent can even assess us. So, Honorable Minister, on behalf of the House, let me thank you. I mean, members can see that you candidly responded to the questions, and we will urge other ministers to also do the same. We are grateful to you, and you are hereby discharged. Honorable members, before we go back to item 6 in today's order paper, let me create the indulgence of the House to acknowledge our children who have come all the way from Bono region. Is that not the case? From Yamoransa Model Labs. Yamoransa Model Labs. And yes, they are being led by Jonathan Amponsim, who is the senior project associate. And they are coming from Doma West constituency. Doma West constituency. And I guess the member is here, Vincent. Yes. Yes. I hope you take care of them.
Mr. Speaker, with your support, I'll take care of them.
Very well. Very well. Yes. We thank you for coming all the way from, is it Sampa area?
Honorable Speaker, they are from, we have so many labs. My lab is lab 12. We have lab 1, lab 2, in all the regions of the country. And we have Liberians and even Gambians. Oh. And it's an annual event. It is robotics. They do robotics competition and whole other things.
Very well.
And it's funded. I'm the promoter. We have promoters around. I know Honorable Elizabeth Ejari is a promoter for Bono East. I'm for Bono. There's another one for, it's all over the country.
Very well.
So it is an annual event.
Oh, very well. Thank you very much. Yes, Chief Whip.
Thank you very much. Speaker, I have my 2 schools from Southern actually. And we participated annually. And this year we came second. And so, let me see you. Yes. So, like my brother, Honorable Vincent Opon said, it's a national event. And Speaker, I think this House should take cognizance of this program. Because, yes, I can make preliminary comments on the matter. And it produces young scientists. And this is how nations grow. This is how you create people who manufacture their creativity. So this House will pay attention to this program. And then we need to encourage the agencies to sponsor it. They'll go to places, they'll go to the Silicon Valley and do wonders.
Then ask Honorable Yabuama to sponsor.
Yes, yeah, Honorable Yabuama, you and I, we must co-sponsor next year's program and ferry them to Silicon Valley in California. I thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
To all of
you
them.
are welcome, and I hope you monitor what is going on in the chamber, and that will motivate you for your future career. I wouldn't ask you to become a politician like us, but for your future career. Yes, can I also hear you?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to also announce to you that Lab 7, Yamranza Lab 7, they are from Biakunye constituency, and they came first. They were first last year, and this year too, they came first. So, Lab 7, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. So you are welcome once again. Yes, honorable members, let's welcome the leader of the House to give us the activity for the ensuing 8 week. Leader, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, your committee, the Business Committee, met today, Friday, 28 February 2025, to arrange the business for the 8 week ending Friday, 7 March 2025. We could not meet yesterday for obvious reasons. The President was here to deliver the State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, as is the tradition, we arranged that next week there may be formal communications from the Right Honorable Speaker. 23 questions have been programmed for next week. 6 to the Minister for Energy and Green Transitions. 4 to the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. 3 to the Minister for Education, 5 to the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and 5 to the Minister for Roads and Highways. 2 are urgent, 21 are oral. Pursuant to Order 91-2, statements may be made by ministers and honorable members. Papers and reports may be laid. Motions and resolutions and motions and consequential resolutions may be made, debated, and taken. And Mr. Speaker, if you recall, you directed that the Minister for Energy and Green Transition should appear before the House to brief us on measures being taken towards the gradual transition of the country to the use of clean and renewable energy. So the Minister has been scheduled for Tuesday, 4th of March 2025. For that purpose, we urge the Minister to avail himself so that we'll be briefed. Thursday, 6th March 2025 is the Independence Day and is a public holiday and will be observed as such, as a statutory holiday, so this House will not be sitting. So, Speaker, the major business for next week will be the debate on the message on the state of the nation. So, Speaker, a motion to thank His Excellency the President for the message on the state of the nation will be moved on Tuesday, 4th of March 2025. Honourable members are therefore urged to participate actively in the debate. The time allocation is as follows: that the majority leader and minority leaders will have 40 minutes. Other 40 minutes, 40. Other leaders will have 20 minutes. Leadership of committees will have 15, and honorable members will have 10 minutes. Mr. Speaker, the committee considered the issue of the number of members to be recognized from each side of the House to contribute to the debate each day, but could not reach a consensus. The minority held the view that in line with existing practice and convention, the number of contributors to the debate should be equal for both sides. That is 5 members for the majority and 5 members from the minority for each day. The majority, on the other hand, argued that in view of the present composition of the House and the high number of members of the majority caucus as opposed to the minority, equal allotment will disadvantage members of the majority caucus. The majority caucus accordingly proposed that the allotment of opportunities for debate on the message should be based on the proportional composition of the House. They accordingly proposed a ratio of 68 to 32 to represent the different sizes of the caucuses in the House. Having regard to the inability of the committee to reach a consensus on the matter, and in accordance with Order 2842 of Standing Orders, the question was put, and the majority of 7 members voted in favor of a proportional allotment of opportunity for debate. The minority, however, gave indications that they were not part of the decision and accordingly do not recognize the vote. The committee accordingly submits the matter for the consideration of the House. The sitting time is 10 a.m. starting Tuesday, 4th of March, and the time may be extended depending on the schedule of the day. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Order 216(2) and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order of business for the consideration and adoption by the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the business statement for the ensuing 8th week has been read to us by the Leader of the House. It is now before the House for consideration. So, if any member has concerns, there is the time. As it stands now, I can only see the minority shape.
All right. Mr. Speaker, I think I'll start and my colleagues will come.
You want to start and your colleagues will come?
Yes.
Then
Mr.
why
Speaker,
don't you allow your colleagues to come, then you take the final lap?
Mr. Speaker, I have concerns. Let me raise my concerns.
What I'm saying is, normally, per our practice, fine. Per our practice, normally when the leader of the House of the caucus speaks, we don't normally go back. So if you allow the members to speak, then you give the final. Or if you want to change it, that's
Mr. Speaker, in the case of business statement, there are so many matters. So any member can speak to any matter, and I think it has been the guidance of the House. Mr. Speaker,
let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, listening to the Leader of the House and the Majority Leader on page 2 with item 5, debates on the message of the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where this is coming from, to the effect that we are going to debate on the message of the state of the nation based on proportions. This is alien to the House. It has never been practiced from our 4th Republic, from the 1st Parliament, the 2nd Parliament, the 3rd Parliament, up to the 9th Parliament. We have never set proportions in this House as basis for debates, Mr. Speaker. So when the majority leader was saying that they even took a decision in terms of voting, that is actually not the procedure. He is a senior man of this House, and he knows. Even the 7th Parliament, when the MPP had a majority of 169 and the NDC was 106, we never used proportion in terms of debate. It has never happened. So why is it that at the moment we are going to say that to debate on the state of the nation, you are going to use a proportion and you brought your own proportion? Mr. Speaker, in any case, what are you afraid of? If 5 of you speak and 5 from this side speak, what are you afraid of? Because you believe that the message that the president presented is the state of the nation. So, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect to the Leader of the House, I think this part of the business statement should be expunged from the record because it's alien to the rules. And if you come and look our standing orders, if you check Order 115, it tells you Order 115, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I'll just read Order 115, where it talks about time and manner of speaking. Order 115 says that, subject to the discretion of the Speaker on Order 169(3)(b), a member who intends to speak shall rise in the member's place and address the chair while standing only at the catching the eye of the Speaker.
There is nowhere in our standing orders which will tell you that you should use proportions when you are going to speak on the floor of the House. And we should not entertain this because we will be setting a very bad precedent. We'll be setting a bad precedent. And we on this side, we will not be part of this. We will not be part of it, and we will not entertain this because it has never happened. And we will not allow you to set a wrong precedent to us. So it's wrong, and Mr. Speaker, we will definitely not be in agreement with any proportion. If we are to debate on the message of the state of the nation, if 5 on this side is speaking, 5 on the other side will speak, there is nothing to be afraid of. You don't need to say you are going to use proportion. We will all speak and we will all debate the message the president speaks, but we will not use any proportion to be able to do that. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I think we all came to Parliament for the same purpose, both majority and minority members. We in the majority have observed that there's one function in Parliament that most of us are not getting the opportunity to play, that is to deliberate in this House. Whether it was a previous practice or something we are introducing, we have to look at the merit. If you are going to do a proportional participation in this Parliament, it would disadvantage some of us in the majority. Simple, yes. But our duty, no, listen, Mr. Speaker, our duty here is for all of us to comment, and participate in every activity, any deliberation in this House. All of us are supposed to contribute, whether you are majority or minority. We shouldn't use partisanship to limit anybody from participating on the floor of Parliament. We shouldn't use it. It's because any statement you make in this House, I have the equal right with anybody there to participate. So if you are using partisanship to allow participation, it will disadvantage anybody who is in the majority side. For example, let's consider that one day the minority are only 10 members. Let's consider it. Tomorrow, the minority, you are only 10 members. How are the rest going to participate on the floor of the House? For instance, you know we are assessed as members of Parliament to get our chance to return. There are NGOs assessing our participation in Parliament. There are NGOs that will come with who are those who are speaking on the floor and who are those who are not speaking. I want to speak, but you are saying my party have 2 chances to speak. The other party has 2 chances to speak. Meanwhile, our number here is twice your number. Yes. You would have 10 times the opportunity to participate. Yes. But my party, even if they are allowing everybody to speak, I will only have 1 chance to speak. So when they are assessing parliamentarians, I'll be poorly assessed. But it is because of that. Just like your members have the right to comment on the President's State of the Nation address, I also have the chance, I also have the privilege and the right to participate. So we are going to do it proportional in every debate. In every debate, it must be 4:1.
Thank you very much.
We must not have equal opportunities as parties.
Thank you.
We must have equal opportunities as representatives of our people.
Thank you.
And that is the way we must participate in this House.
Honorable member, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we are by this going to introduce some unfairness and a novelty unknown to the practice of this House. Mr. Speaker, it's very important. The MPP has had 169 members of Parliament before. We've never on any occasion advocated for this. In any event, Mr. Speaker, if you look at...
Honorable members, please, let's listen to him. I'll also give you the floor to also speak. Please, let's hear him. Other than that, we wouldn't hear anything.
Mr. Speaker, what are we running away from? Paragraph 5 of the business statement. It's just a debate on the President's address to the House to thank him. Why are we rationing members of Parliament and deciding on the number of people to speak? What are we running away from? Debate? Majority running away from debate? Come on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Speaker of Parliament chairs the Committee on Selection. Committee on Selection only uses ratio in the apportioning of members on committees. That's all. This is the chamber for debate. This is the chamber for debate. And for the majority to go to a business committee meeting to propose this is unfair. It's alien to the House. We've never seen this before. And it must not be entertained, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Ted Abi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think that if we allow this to go, it will disadvantage the majority seriously. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is not for nothing that our standing orders gives equity to members on committees. Why? Yes. It is because of equity insofar as participation is concerned. What it means is that if we allot 2 hours for debate, what it means is that 183 or 187 will have 1 hour divided by 183. And then 80 divided by whatever. But what are you talking about? Mr. Speaker, it will be unfair. And seriously, it doesn't give equal opportunity. And as my other colleague said, others are looking at people who speak. They are assessing members of Parliament based on the opportunity to talk. So if the probability is higher on your side, what is going to happen is that they will think that our people, like Mr. Speaker, it is for this reason that the former Minister of Information had the guts to go and say that members from our side are not speaking because, Mr. Speaker, that is the reason. That is the reason, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that for the sake of equity, we need to go by the proportion so that everybody would have opportunity to speak, be it on at the committee or on the floor of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I think it's just fair. It is just fair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have 2 points to make. One on this proposal for proportionality, and then one on something else which I believe should be programmed in the business statement for next week. First, Mr. Speaker, is this question of proportionality. For the purposes of debate, that is why next week we have an opportunity, I think about 4 days or 5 days or so, to debate. What is a debate? To exchange contrasting views on what His Excellency the President has presented. Is there anybody on the majority side who is going to say he disagrees with the President? No. What is going to happen, Mr. Speaker? What is going to happen, Mr. Speaker, is that in this debate, the contrasting views that you will get from this side. And that is why the convention has been over the years, from the first Parliament, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, that when one person speaks on the other side, ostensibly to repeat what the President has said, you will get a contrasting view from another person from this side. So, Mr. Speaker, we should not fall for this temptation that we are now coming to do some proportional representation when it comes to the debate on the state of the nation. The convention has always been that one from this side, one from this side. To our brother at the back who is laboring to answer the question, what formula should be used? The standing orders have prescribed the formula that should be used, Order 1151. It doesn't lie in the mouth of any caucus to make a determination on numbers. Actually, the rules say that it is the Speaker who examines the chamber and selects who should be speaking. And the convention has been that you catch the Speaker's eye and the Speaker selects one from this side, one from this side. So, Mr. Speaker, we should not get into this new proposal that is being given us, that we should now select 2 or 3 from one side before we select. We will not hear any contrasting views if we go that way. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the business statement for the week ahead of us, you would imagine that any other matter that is a precursor to the budget, leader, should be executed next week before the budget is brought. There are about 3 policy documents that the government benches have advertised to the whole country, which are relevant to the budget. If you look at your manifesto, I have a copy here. You have what you call the Economic Recovery Program, you have the Economic Transformation Agenda, and then you have your 24-hour economy policy. Mr. Speaker, the budget that we are going to receive on the 11th is based on these documents. None of these documents has been brought to this House. In previous times, documents like the Ghana Beyond Aid policy, etc., they will be brought to this House. I think that what the government benches should consider, including in this business statement, is bringing to this House the 24-hour economy policy, the Economic Recovery Program, and the Economic Transformation Agenda, so that Parliament can have an opportunity to see it, make input into it, query it, before the budget itself is brought. And I want to urge on the leader of government business that they should consider including this before the budget itself is brought. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, Order 216 of our standing orders clearly has given the mandate to the Business Committee to determine the order in which business is conducted in this House. Under the same order, the time allotted for debate is also determined by the same Business Committee. Parliament is a house of representation. We are representing our individual constituencies. And so when it comes to deliberations in the House, it is important that time allotted and opportunities given reflects the manner of representation. That is why the framers of the Constitution, in their own wisdom, decided that in determining composition of committees, which is critical to the performance of our duties as a legislative body, it is determined by representation in the House. That is why the ratio is used. So it is only proper that we have this determination done in such a way that because we have the majority and the numbers are so huge that we are more than twice the number of the minority, in the debate of the State of the Nation, it is proper that we are giving more slots than the minority is given to debate. So, Mr. Speaker, we support not just the debate, all other proceedings. Mr. Speaker, we in the majority stand firmly behind the majority leader in proposing that in the debate of the State of the Nation's address, the majority be given more time or more slots than the minority. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to contribute to this debate. Mr. Speaker, the leader of this House, the distinguished Member of Parliament for Boku Central, is a man who is well versed with the standing orders of this House. And Mr. Speaker, when he spoke, ordinarily he would have made reference to the part of the standing orders that gives the Business Committee the powers to allocate the number of people who will be contributing to the debates. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and other extant laws of the Republic do not also give any such powers to any committee like that. Mr. Speaker, the closest we have is Order 216, which has been made reference to by my very good friend, Adam, Honorable Adam. Now, that order is short of also making a pronouncement as to the number of people who will be debating from each side of the aisle. Mr. Speaker, this is not the first parliament of this republic. We have heard this is the 9th parliament. And Mr. Speaker, I make specific reference to the 2nd parliament of this republic, 1996, where
the NDC had 132 seats, the MPP 66, and I believe there were 2 independent, members. I stand corrected, Mr. Speaker. Even under those circumstances, there were no such proportional representation as far as debates are concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, it's very strange that the president has delivered his message on the state of the nation on behalf of the majority or Ghanaians generally. And Mr. Speaker, that is a statement which they all believe and imbibe in. We disagree to some extent to some of the things that the president has said. And so we deserve every opportunity to impeach what the president has said. And we should be able to do so. We should be given enough room. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, the proportion should even favor the minority than the majority. This is not committee. This is not some international representation or trips abroad. This is debate. It is not the number of people who debate, but the quality of the debates. So, Mr. Speaker, I can challenge you. We can debate you on any day. Even if you make it 10-1, we'll beat you on the debate floor. Mr. Speaker, in this hallowed chamber, we are ready for you, but we are not ready for you to trample upon our rights. We will debate with you as has been done previously, and we will do so equitably, and we will do so in accordance with our standing orders and the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable James Agaga.
Mr. Speaker, the arguments made by our colleagues from the other side suggests that when the motion is moved, all those who rise and catch Mr. Speaker's eye from this side of the House will necessarily speak in favor of the motion. Mr. Speaker, this is an erroneous assumption. In fact, it is a presumption which is rebuttable. We are in a democracy. Mr. Speaker, we are in a democracy.
Is it rebuttable, under Ghanaian circumstances?
The assumption, it is rebuttable.
If it is Europe, America, I can
Speaker.
see that. But in Ghana's circumstance, is it rebuttable? Honorable James,
Mr. Speaker,
I'm saying under Ghanaian circumstance, the way we see our discussion,
Mr. Speaker,
is it rebuttable?
Mr. Speaker, without attempting to draw you into the debate, I can say you are a classical example of the rebuttal of that presumption. You came close to rebutting the presumption some time ago when you stood firm and bold in taking certain decisions. At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker was hailed by all for being courageous. Mr. Speaker, we must encourage members to take dissenting views, hold dissenting views and express them, regardless of which side of the aisle you belong to. It should be possible for my good friend Honorable Tampule to speak in favor of the motion which would be moved on Tuesday. In the same measure, it should be possible for my leader Roxanne Nelson Dafiamoko to speak against the motion. So, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, let us be guided by what the standing order says, and it is very clear.
What does it
Standing
say?
Order 2162 says, and with your kind permission, let me read. Subject to Order 67, the committee shall A, propose the business of each sitting and the order in which the business is taken. That's all, it's clear. Now, the business committee, Mr. Speaker, the business committee has clearly determined the order upon which the debate on the motion will be taken. The committee's determination is that we go by the proportion of 68:32. And this is representative of the numbers in this House. Mr. Speaker, the fact that one side won by an overwhelming majority does not mean that our majority status should work to our disadvantage. Which is why we are saying, let us adopt a proportion which reflects the numbers in the House, so that members would have the opportunity to participate in the debate, regardless of which side of the House what they belong to. The fact that I belong to the majority does not mean that I should be limited or restrained, because I was voted for by the overwhelming majority of the people, and I sit to the right hand of Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, let's do the right thing. Democracy is about majoritarian rule. The majority must have every opportunity to participate effectively in this debate. Mr. Speaker, given the numbers on this side of the House, if you limit us, you would be denying 184 constituencies equal opportunity to be heard. Why would 88 members of the House have equal opportunity to speak? Equal opportunity, 50-50. This would be unfair. It will be unfair and unequitable. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we should go by what the committee has determined for us and do justice.
Yes, Honorable Sevenamua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the same standing order 216 2A. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I read. Propose the business of each sitting and the order in which the business is taken, except that the House may determine which matters may properly be introduced in the House at any time. Mr. Speaker, I think this extract is so clear without any ambiguity. Unless somebody wants to undermine the very law that has conferred on us the power that we want to abuse in this House. It is so clear that the business committee, they will make the proposal or the propositions, but it is the House that will determine which matter should be actually dealt with and the adverb properly. So it doesn't lie within the jurisdiction of the business committee to impose on us anything which is unlawful. I think we've come too far to accept any imposition of one party's interest. We are here, at least understand that the Constitution, the standing orders or conventions are the very tools that actually guide us in this House. Looking at 1996, we had different numbers in terms of ratios, and we could not use that as a yardstick to make the decisions, Mr. Speaker, they want to make today. I'm advising my brothers from the other side that we want to live in peace. We want to adhere to the democratic principles that have brought us this far, and that has earned Ghana the reputation we have on the continent of Africa. If they think they want to abuse their number, and by doing that impose on us their interest, we will not allow that. We will resist any form of imposition, any form of intimidation, any form of threat that will undermine the very democracy and the Constitution that is leading us. So, Mr. Speaker, all that I'm saying is that we will not sit down and allow anything that will be done in law. They say mela fide, in bad faith. I think the good people of this country voted for us to position ourselves in a way that they will learn from us. The students were here, the media, they are here. Now, because of your numbers, are we practicing autocracy or democracy? Are we practicing military rule or we are practicing democracy? Please, respectfully, we want to work together in harmony. We want to harmonize the interests of every Ghanaian. Equality, as the Constitution says, Article 17, must be respected. We cannot decide anyhow because we have power. We cannot decide anyhow because we think we are yielding power that Ghanaians have given us to distort and destroy the beautiful democracy we have. Don't let anybody think our numbers, they'll intimidate us. Don't let anybody think because we have these small numbers, they'll behave in a way that we will succumb to their threat. We will not be controlled by cowardice. Mr. Speaker, I'll end by this. The very Bible that we read, God has assured us and given us. God did not create us with the spirit of timidity nor fear, but that of boldness and courage. Do not be afraid, my people. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you. And we will stand on the authority of God and the democracy and the constitution and the standing orders and live up to expectation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, please. If I continue to listen to almost everybody who speak to it, and it appears the same thing. Anybody who speaks from the right will speak to the same point, and as well as my group from the left will also speak to the same point. So let me listen to leadership, and I'll have my own conclusion about it. Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this morning, because I had some other engagement outside of the precincts of Parliament, the Chief Whip on our side stood in for the caucus at the usual business committee meeting. He has fully briefed me of what transpired. Well, regrettably, the majority leader did not give me a heads up on the intention of the majority on this very matter. But that is to be expected. We are in a political enterprise. Sometimes it is normal to hide some of your cards. So, though it's a surprise, but it's normal to me. It's okay. Mr. Speaker, let me make some few references, and I will leave the matter to our good conscience, to posterity, and for all to think through. Mr. Speaker, when I was a majority leader, and at a point close to elections and after elections, were to take some decisions in this House, the minority then resisted, and through the resistance, they referred me to the Hansard of 2016 after the election, where my predecessor, the respected Che Mensah Bonsu, had made some strong arguments about the transition and the fact that they had lost elections, certain decisions were to be placed on ice. And they were fortified by that to say that government business could not continue. I've listened to the forceful argument by Honorable Edem Agbana. I've also heard my own friend, the Honorable James Agaga, talking about the majoritarian rule. Fortunately, everything said today will be part of the Hansard of this House. The practice, as I've known it to be, is that in this House, although we come here, majority, minority, when it comes to debates, there is equal share. Since 1997, when the first opposition party was in this house. We had a 61 plus 6 smaller parties making the minority 67, with overwhelming majority being the NDC with 133. The Speaker, D.F. Annan of blessed memory, the records would bear me out, that in all debates, you pick one from the right, you pick one from the left. The practice continued under Alajete, and then eventually under Okwe, where the MPP had overwhelming numbers in this house. The very first in the history of our politics, MPP had 169. Mr. Speaker, the practice did not change. With 169, the debate was still shared equally. And I do recall that even committee sittings, committee sharing, some consensus was built and some concessions had to be made by the majority to accommodate some more numbers for the minority. Mr. Speaker, delegation to sub-regional parliament and all, we all had some understanding of the way to go. Well, I am not going to challenge the majority on this. I will not. Because as Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote in Weep Not Child, weep not child, weep not my darling. With these cases, let me remove your tears. The ravening clouds shall not long be victorious, they shall not long possess the skies. If today you are of the view that in this debating chamber, they should call 7 of you and call only 3 because you have the rule, I will not debate or let us break shoulders over this matter, because I know that in as long as there is life, even if I am dead and gone, and this democracy that we have all established is in force, the MPP will someday come into power. Be it 4 years, 8 years, 50 years, 100 years, NPP will someday come. And the records of this house, will be the guiding rule. So, Mr. Speaker, I would strongly urge upon the majority leader that some of these new presidents that they are introducing, they must be measured in the way they are introducing these presidents. Because we are watching, we are taking notes, and a day may come that references will be made. I have tasted that bitter pill when you referred me to some of the actions of the then opposition leader in this house in 2016. And you said that is the basis for you even preventing Supreme Court nominees from being considered on the House floor. To the extent that the minority chief whip, as he then was, Honorable Kwame Govins Agboja, threatened that should I make an attempt to lay the report, there will be chaos. We retreated. We listened to them. We said it's okay. After all, in a democracy, you can't get everything. So we'll let it go. Mr. Speaker, without more, I will take my seat and leave the matter to you.
Thank you. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have listened carefully to colleagues in the chamber, and I think, in a sense, there's been an attempt to question the mandate of the Business Committee to engage in a determination that the time allotted for debate should be proportional to our numbers in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, let's look at Order 216-2B. Order 216-2B. 216-2B says that, subject to Order 67, the committee shall recommend the time allotted for debate on bills. The time allotted for debates on bills, motions, private members' bills, private members' motions, and other business. Here we are discussing a motion to thank the President for coming to this House to deliver a message on the state of the nation. So it is part of the mandate of the Business Committee to recommend the allotment of time. Mr. Speaker, let's break it down to what is in issue. What is in issue is that the Business Committee proposed that we have 5 slots, 10 slots per day, and the 10 slots and the debate will last 4 days. So in effect, Mr. Speaker, we are looking at 40 slots in all for the debate. Okay? 40 slots in all for the debate. And we have allotted the specific time that each speaker may speak. The allotment to leadership, the allotment to chairs, and the allotment to ordinary members. Mr. Speaker, according to what my friends on the other side are proposing, we should allot 20 slots and the time allocated for those slots to their side, and also allot 20 slots and the time allocated for those 20 slots to our side. Mr. Speaker, what that means is that their side, with 88 members, will individually have a higher allocation of allotted time than this side that has 188 members. So, Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is that it is inequitable to have 188 members who constitute 68% of the House take 20 slots, and then you have 88 who are 32% of the House also taking 20 slots. It's just inequitable. It is inequitable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what that means is that members of this side get more opportunity, more airtime, more opportunity than members on this side. Mr. Speaker, like an ordinary member, a member indicated earlier on, because of this, the public watching us often come to a conclusion that we with 188 members are being overshadowed by those who are only 88. And that is because the allocation of time. Because if you give them 88 people 20 hours and give 188 people 20 hours, definitely the 88 people with 20 hours will end up outshining the 188. So it is only fair that we allot the time on the basis of our numbers in the chamber. So, Mr. Speaker, it is only equitable. I have also heard colleagues try to argue that Order 115 governs the allocation of time or the determination of who speaks. Mr. Speaker, let's read Order 115. Order 115, and with your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, I read. It says that subject to the discretion of the Speaker and Order 1693B, a member who intends to speak shall rise in the member's place and address the chair while standing only and catching the eye of the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this has nothing to do with the allotment of time. This has nothing to do with the allotment of the number of speakers determined for each side. Mr. Speaker, it has always been the practice of this House that we are on both sides. We always agree. This is not the first time. At all times, we agree, okay, this side 10, this side 5, or this side 5, this side 5. We always agree. So you can't say that, to now say that the agreement should be varied equitably, then we are taking away the power of the Speaker to recognize somebody standing so that he can give the person an opportunity to contribute. So, Mr. Speaker, 115 has nothing to do with this decision. Indeed, this decision is wholly governed by 2162B. So it is obvious. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying that whatever it is, let's be fair. We have a lot of new members on this side, and we also have new members on this side. When we restrict the allocations the way that you are proposing, what it will happen invariably is that it means that a member on your side gets 2 opportunities when a member on this side gets only 1. And that's not fair. That's not fair. A member on your side gets 2 opportunities when a member on this side gets only 1 opportunity. That's not fair. Mr. Speaker, let me get to the subject matter. A debate on the state of the nation presented by the President. There are 2 sides. There's a side that will be seeking to disprove what the President has said, and there's a side that will be seeking to confirm what the President has said. Mr. Speaker, let me indicate that we on this side stand by our position that when it comes to government business and we are allotting time, let's allot it equitably so that we have, based on our numbers, a greater allocation of time than your side. And that is why during the committee meeting, we had our disagreements, and when according to the procedure spelled out in our standing orders, we put it to a vote. And 7 votes in favor of that proposed allocation of time, and then 4 on your side decided not to participate in the vote and asked that the record should indicate that they protested and they disagreed with the decision. But 7 of us voted in favor of the position that you have 68, that we have 68% of the time, and that you have 32% of the time, reflecting the different sizes of the parties in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, like you said, it is not the amount of time, it is the quality of the debate. If you believe that it is the quality of the debate, then why are you worried about how much time we are taking? Why are you worried about how much time we are taking? We are worried about time. You say you are more interested in the quality. So within your short time frame, make sure that your debate is highly qualitative and leave us to decide what we do with our time. So, Mr. Speaker, that was the position that was taken. But I forgot to add one thing because those who wrote the report omitted it, and members of the committee will confirm that. We also decided at the committee meeting that next week, Wednesday, we will invite the governor of the Bank of Ghana as an independent constitutional body to come to this House and brief us on the pricing of the new Bank of Ghana head office building, how the price variations took place, what the quantities were, and the justification for the construction of the new Bank of Ghana headquarters. And so this is programmed for next week, that this House is inviting the governor of the Bank of Ghana to come and brief us on the pricing of the Bank of Ghana head office building. And so I urge members on Wednesday to show up so that we will hear from the governor on the pricing of the Bank of Ghana head office. I also take on board the proposal that we should consider having the relevant sector ministers to present policy proposals on major policies that this government has pronounced. I think that it would be a good idea for the relevant sector ministers to come and present the policy documents to us, but the issue is timing, whether it should be before the budget or it should be after the budget. I will convey the message to them. It's a good proposal. I will convey the message to them and see whether they are prepared to come before us with those policy documents before the finance minister appears, or they will incorporate it in the budget so that the finance minister will make those policy pronouncements and then proceed to present a budgetary allocation to implement those policies. The invitation of the governor is on Wednesday, and it will be at the sitting of the Committee of the Whole, and it has been provided for in the draft document that we had. But when they went to print the final document, I did not see it. So, Mr. Speaker, I think those are the issues, and that is how we have programmed next week. And so, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to adopt the program for next week as presented by the chairman of the Business Committee. Thank you.
Honorable members,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to invite you to the Constitution. I want to invite you to the Constitution in Article 104. And with your permission, I read. Mr. Speaker, except as otherwise provided in the Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of majority of members present and voting, with at least half of members of Parliament present. Mr. Speaker, on page 2 of the business statement, the conclusion part, it reads that the minority, however, gave the indication that they were not part of the decision and accordingly do not recognize the vote. The committee recommend the committee accordingly submit the matter for the consideration of the House. The consideration of the House implies we need a decision quorum, which is 138. I invite you, we cannot take that decision at the moment. We don't have 138 members in this chamber, and we cannot take a decision because the committee recommends for the House to adopt it. And I invite you that, Mr. Speaker, we can approve the business statement and stand down this very matter because it is for the consideration of the House. And in Article 104, we don't have 138 members present to take that decision. Mr. Speaker, I so invite you. Thank you.
Well, honorable members, I think this issue, you wouldn't allow. Yes, will you let me hear you?
Speaker, I have listened to the Honorable Second Deputy Minority, First Deputy Minority Chief Whip. He has read the Constitution to you. He has not conveyed anything other than that to you. The invitation has not been done. Mr. Speaker, he has not told this House how many we are. He hasn't. I have counted. He has not told the House how many we are. If we are not 138, how many are we? So Speaker, it is inaccurate for him to suggest to you and to the House that we are not 138. For we are, and we are more than. For we are, and we are more than. So he cannot merely and whimsically say that we are less than 138 and that is it. He has not backed it with any evidence, i.e., having done the head count personally as a whip and showed the evidence. Me, I have. And we are more than 138. So, Mr. Speaker, I will invite you to disregard his submissions as if same was never done at all, and put the question, Mr. Speaker, so we can deal with this matter. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in raising the constitutional matter, Mr. Speaker, in raising the constitutional matter, I made it clear that we are not 138, Mr. Speaker. When inviting you to the constitutional provisions, I told you that we are not 138. On this side, they are 40. On this side, they are 28. On this side, they are 17. We are less than 100, Mr. Speaker. We are not 138. So for that matter, I invite you to stand on the matter because we don't have a decision-making quorum to continue with that matter, Mr. Speaker. We can approve other part of the business statement, but that matter that was invited, the committee invited the House for its consideration on that particular matter. The committee invited us, and we are not 138, and based on Article 104, we cannot continue, Mr. Speaker. I invite you to do the right thing. Mr. Speaker, as a lawyer as you are, you should do the right thing and respect the Constitution in the provisions in Article 104. I so invite you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I was at the business committee meeting. Mr. Speaker, what happened at the committee meeting was that when the matter came up, we argued and argued and argued, same way that we're arguing in the chamber, and there was no consensus. So I referred them to the appropriate orders 2842 and said, if you cannot come to a consensus, which is what the rules say, that you should decide by consensus. If you cannot come to a consensus, then you will have to put it to a vote. And the chairman, Honorable Ricketts, he was chairing. I was there. I'm the chairman, but I was not chairing. But he was chairing. He put it to a vote.
A voice vote first.
A voice vote first. Then there was some disagreement. We said, let's do head count. They said they didn't want their heads to be counted. They didn't want their heads to be counted. So I even encouraged them to cover their heads so that we'll count the other available heads. On a lighter note, Mr. Speaker, we joked about it. So we counted. And the majority side were 7. And then they said they wanted it recorded, that they protested. To say you want something recorded, that you are protesting against it, that you don't recognize it, doesn't mean that a vote was not taken. It also doesn't mean that you didn't lose the vote. Because the rules are clear that you put the matter to a vote. You either win or you lose, or you abstain. You didn't want to abstain, also didn't want your head to be counted. So how are we to go about it? So we said they should count those who were voting for it. So they counted, and 7 voted for. and there were 4. So we assume that naturally the 4 were either abstaining or voting against. So the matter could not have been referred to this House to take a decision. There's no way that the matter was referred to this House to take a decision. No matter what the secretary wrote there, because of this same matter, we said the secretary should tell us exactly what our conclusions were at the meeting, because we didn't want a situation where we will get to the chamber and there will be a dispute as to what had actually happened. So the secretary then indicated to us in their presence the conclusion that there was a vote, and the vote was 7 in favor of, and we didn't know whether the 4 were abstaining or they were voting against, but that they wanted to record it that they were against the position that we had taken. And that is it. There was no decision there that the matter was being referred to the House to decide. So, Mr. Speaker, that provision is hereby amended, because there was no decision. And there are members who were there. If they are in this room, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, in order to raise a question of quorum, I noticed people walking out in droves. And so those who were members are no longer in the chamber to confirm exactly what happened. But, Mr. Speaker, that was what happened at the committee meeting. So the matter wasn't referred to this House to take a decision. So it is amended. And if there is a dispute, the clerk should be invited here to come and confirm whether what I'm saying is true or not. That was exactly what happened. No referral was made to this House, Mr. Speaker. No referral was made to this House. So it is hereby amended to that effect.
We've taken some time on this.
The same way, Mr. Speaker, that the Bank of Ghana component of our conclusions was also omitted. If you read what you have, the Bank of Ghana decision to invite the Bank of Ghana here on Wednesday was also omitted. And yet, if you ask them, they will tell you that they took that decision. So that's why I had to subsequently, amend the report to incorporate that. So I hereby amend the report to also delete any indication that the matter was referred to this House to take a decision.
Mr. Speaker, my suggestion to you is that this very matter be referred to the Right Honourable Speaker for further discussion with leadership, because, Mr. Speaker, it is going to set a certain new precedent. And you are a member of this House, and you are as a second Deputy Speaker. I suggest that let's go and discuss this matter with the Right Honourable Speaker, and then we can make progress. If he, as the head of this assembly, finally exercises the discretion that whatever is being said by the majority should be the new practice, then we have it on record, and then we are guided.
Decision. Leader, you let me finish. I'll give you the opportunity. When this issue was raised, to the effect that the majority will be shortchanged, they will not get enough. Honourable members, please allow me to speak. Will be shortchanged, will not get enough space to also air their views. Their constituents would like to hear them. The Speaker insisted that there are so many means a member can be heard. There are so many means a member who is desirous to be heard that is indeed doing work in the chamber can be done. It can be done through questions, as this morning I was in a way trying to invite my members from the majority to ask questions. They can come through statements, they can come through motions, and all these are ways that members who are desirous to make industry in the chamber can do. When it comes to contributions and comes to debate, normally the practice of the House, and by extension to other Honorable members, what I'm saying, I'm not changing anything. I personally would like to go by the status quo, but the business committee has taken a decision. I think what the minority leader is saying is to refer to the speaker again. I think is in order. But honorable members, please allow me to finish. Honorable members, I think to allow anybody to speak rests with the speaker per standing orders 115. So whether I will be here or my brother or the speaker himself, he will be guided by it. And I think as to whether you allow members here to speak more or it will depend on the speaker. So please, I think we don't need to split our heads over this. I've heard majority on equitable point of view. I think I share with you, but the standard and the practice over the House is that one speak here, and that's why members, honorable members, that is why, honorable members, that is why in the second Parliament, 166 against 134, that issue was not raised. That is why in the seventh Parliament, 169 against that was not raised. I think let's maintain it. But if whatever it is, honorable members, whatever it is, the business proposal that has been discussed is hereby adopted.
Mr. Speaker,
I have adopted your business statement, so it's okay. Yes. Honorable member, whatever yes. I said for me. The business statement has been adopted.
Yes.
I was just speaking for
let me just say
the
something.
way
yes. Let me just say something. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, the media is covering. For the avoidance of doubt, the business statement is what has been adopted. And the business statement says that the allocation of time for the debate on the message on the State of the Nation motion, it shall be 63% here and 32% here. That's what it says. That's what it says. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, 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 we are guided. You guide us in this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I think you guide us in this House. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say what the minority leader said. He has recorded. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let's close the chapter.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you heard the majority leader, and Mr. Speaker, what I'm simply trying to put across is that you have guided us, and you said the speaker. The speaker here means the leader of the institution Parliament. The Mr. Speaker have said, and you were present, to the effect that one here, and that is what is stand. Whatever is contained in here was not what the Speaker said. In Order 115, when a member time to speak, lie on the Speaker. So the majority leader assertion of his time allocation 68 to 32 is not approved. It's not there. It's not approved.
Honorable,
the Speaker
Honorable.
said 1 year, 1 year. So it's not approved.
Honorable members, the presentation by the majority leader was to the effect that whatever decision that was taken at the business committee was not to be brought to the chamber for us to take a decision on. I mean, it has been presented, members have raised issues. Personally, I have also raised my own issues. And whatever it is, the business statement ought to be adopted. So we've adopted it with all, but like I said, if I am presiding or my member is presiding, per our standing orders 115, the person must catch the Speaker's eye. Of course, I also encourage leadership because this has a far-reaching consequence. And therefore, I encourage leadership to meet and take decision on this. Even after the discussion of the honorable members, even after the discussion of the President's message, I think we need to holistically take a decision on this. So that is my discussion. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I beg you. We speak not just to ourselves in this chamber, we speak to a nation. There's a whole country watching us, a whole world watching us. Boko is in the world. Mr. Speaker, what happened today is that we brought the report of the business committee to be adopted. One of the items in the report is how we allot time for the debate on the motion on the state of the nation next week. And we have specific recommendations. It was disputed at the committee meeting, but we voted on it. And so it is part of the report. It has been disputed here, comments made, and etc. You yourself have expressed your reservations, but in the end, you put the vote, the question to us to vote and adopt it, and we have voted and we have adopted the report. So the report as adopted, the report as adopted. Mr. Speaker, I want the media to convey this because this is the decision. Mr. Speaker, the Speaker has made some comments. He has made some comments, and his comments are that, in his opinion, the allocation of time is governed by Order 115. That's what I heard the Speaker saying. To catch the Speaker's eye. But Mr. Speaker, you know that when we are debating the budget, when we are debating the State of the Nation address, it is not the person who rises that catches your eye. We normally write down the names on a list of paper and give it to you, and then you call them according to the name that we have given you and the times agreed. So it's not a question of who catches your eye. It is how many we have given you and who we have given you, and how many they have given you and who they have given you, that you call. And that is what is going to govern the debate next week. So next week, we will give you 68% of the names, and they'll give you 32% of the names. And that's what you will call. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Majority Leader. With regards to the names, can you educate me with regards to the names? Because all these are more or less conventions we have adopted. They are all conventions we've adopted. So specifically, if we are talking of handing over names to the Speaker, if you can educate me on, so that, because I thought it's a standard, it's a convention that we all adopt. So if you want to help me, then help me well, so that I know per these standing orders, leadership can hand names to the Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I have been in this chamber for close to 2 decades. Mr. Speaker, you always agree on the numbers for each side, and based on that agreement, the sides will give you the names of the members.
Yes.
Is that okay? So, of the numbers.
Speaker, considering that we just adopted business statement and the questions slotted for today have all been taken, we are in your hands. It's past 2 o'clock. We are ready to be adjourned. In any case, we have orientation starting tonight. Thank you. Orientation hall. So, Speaker, I want to urge our colleagues to join us for the orientation. It is important. The orientation will cure some of these matters that they are debating. So we are encouraging them to join us in hall 6 p.m. tonight. Speaker, thank you.
Majority Leader, will you put a motion? We've not spent. Okay.
Speaker.